Hi, this is Gina, and thanks again for stopping by. This is part two of a two-part series on the topic of the new timeline for your Facebook business page. In my last video, I was sharing with you about the announcement from Facebook that it will roll out timeline for all business pages on March the 30th. And I also told you that up until that time, you have the option of setting it up now if you wanted to, and that video showed you how to do that. I also mentioned in that video, that first part of the video, that there are a few things that you want to really be mindful of and understand what the impact is going to be once timeline is used on your Facebook page. So let's get started on part two. There are three things that are going to be impacted directly as it relates to the existing Facebook pages you may have. Many of you have Facebook pages that have content that is customized so that when somebody lands on your Facebook page and they have not yet liked the page, you have content for non-fans. And this is an example of that on one of my pages. This is the welcome page. So if somebody who hasn't signed up yet, this is what they see when they come to this page called your WordPress Diva. So in the current version of the Facebook page, you have the ability to indicate what you want a visitor for the first time to see on your page. The next thing is, once somebody liked my page, this is what they saw. They saw an invitation to join my list. I was giving them 30 free plugins for WordPress, a list of some free plugins. So additionally, you see that we were able along the left side to also show additional information that we wanted to customize, information that we wanted to show to visitors to our pages. Well, my friends, I'm here to tell you that that is all going to change. So I have already upgraded one of my pages to the new timeline, and this is what you get. So what has happened is all of that good stuff, all of the customized content that you can show to non-fans and then show fans something different, all of that, my friend, is gone. If you notice, all of that stuff that was along the left-hand side, that is gone. Now, all is not lost, because what Facebook has done, it hasn't taken away your ability to have that stuff. What it's done is just change the way you're able to display it. So although it is no longer listed along here, and although I no longer have, if you go to my wall, the other thing that's gone is this picture bar that was at the top of the page. If you notice, if you go over to the updated one, that no longer exists. And they've replaced the tabs along the left side with the tabs that sits right here below that big image there. Let me walk you a little bit through then what Facebook has said are some of the new features of the new timeline. We've already talked about the cover image, and just so you know, there are some things you need to be aware of as it relates to the cover image. Specifically, well, the cover image size, you now can create an image that's 851 by 315 pixels. However, there are some restrictions on what you can show on that cover. And what Facebook says is that the cover is not intended to be a billboard. Instead, it says your cover photo cannot include price or purchase information, such as 40% off or downloaded at our website. It cannot contain contact information such as a web address, an email address, a mailing address, or any information that should go into your page about information. Neither can your cover image have reference to Facebook features or actions, such as you cannot have a like button there, you cannot have an arrow pointing to like. And then finally it says you cannot have any calls to action on that cover image. So you can't say something like get it now or tell your friends. So basically it's intended to have an image and they don't want you using it for advertising. That's the bottom line. Okay. So let's talk then about what Facebook lists are some of the features of the new timeline. And I'm going to talk to you about 4 of them that I think will be of some benefit to you for your business page. The first one that I want to talk about, Facebook calls it larger stories. Yes, it allows you to see larger videos and images and links in your timeline. So for example, here is in my timeline, here is a video that I have linked to this page. It's larger than it used to be. And then if you scroll down, here's an image. This is my cover image actually, and notice how it's displaying in the timeline as a much larger image than say this one. Well, this is a small image, and so that's the size of the image. The larger stories feature does, it allows you to show things with more depth and greater size in your right within your timeline without people having to click on them. So the second feature is star and hide stories. So what this does, this allows you to take a story and make it the star of your page or of your timeline without moving it away from the position that it has in the timeline. So let me show you an example of that. So here's a story that I posted on February the 25th. So what I want to do is I want to star it. And notice what it does. It made it appear still within the time, stays in the timeline, but it makes it larger and it's more prominent in the timeline when somebody's scrolling through. So if you consider something in your timeline to be of more importance and you want people to see it or want to make it pop, but you don't want to move it outside of chronological order, you would use the star feature. Now, the next feature that Facebook is, I guess, taking this one up another level, and it's using a similar function, so that what if I did want to take this story and make it be more prevalent by putting it at the top of my timeline? Well, Facebook has added something called pinned posts. So if you click on this button right here and you notice it says pin to the top, well, I'm going to choose pin to the top. And what Facebook is going to do is it's going to take that story, and no matter what the date that it was created, it's going to push it to the top of my timeline. But here's the thing, this only stays here for up to 7 days, or you can move it yourself at any time. It's a mind. The fourth feature that I want to talk about is the milestone. So let me demonstrate for you how easy it is to add a milestone. This is something you want to use, to announce something exciting that happened in your business, or, you may have won an award or something of that nature. This would be the perfect thing to use to highlight that. And you can include a photograph that's 843 by 403. So I'm going to just go through this for you, just for the sake of demonstrating. The location is optional, but if you wanted to, you could put it in. Now, you have to have a year in your milestone. You can also add a month, and you can add a date. Bear in mind that whatever you put here, this is where in your timeline this milestone is going to appear. And the story is optional, but you may want to go in here and put some information about what it is you're celebrating. Okay, now the other thing about a milestone is it has to have an image. You have to have an image and a milestone. Okay, so I'm just going to use an image from my cover photo and just add it there. And there it is. Okay. So once you've saved that, what it does, it puts it in your timeline, but you notice what it does. It really lays it out in a different way. It doesn't limit it to any of the columns that exist in the timeline. Instead, you get to have a whole huge section of your timeline to highlight that milestone. So if you had a bigger picture or more information, that is what would sit as a highlight in your timeline. So those are 4 of the features of the new timeline for Facebook, and there are several more features that Facebook has rolled out. And one of the other sources that you may want to try to learn more about the new Facebook timeline is to go to www.facebook.com Learn, Learn, Facebook pages with an S.com. That's learnfacebookpages.com, and there you can find out all of the information you need about the new Facebook timeline for business pages. So thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, please be sure to leave them at the bottom of this video, and I will try to get back to you as quickly as I can. So thanks again for watching. Take care.